everybody. Welcome to today's webinar session. I'm very excited to be joining with all of you guys today. Got some really cool stuff to lined up for you today. While we're letting people jump on, giving them a few minutes, which I still see them coming in, let me give you a little rundown of what today's session is gonna be unpacking. So I've got lined up some of the best ad examples that we've seen across Google lately. And in today's session, I really want you guys to give me your honest take on these examples as we go through them in the chat or the question box. And I want to know if you would actually click or would you skip it as we pour through them. And then, of course, we're going to cover AI, what advertising looks like in the new AI search era. And then also we're going to cover on the back end because your ads can't just look pretty. It's all about the back end setup as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I will share my screen. All right. So while we are waiting, though, actually, let's back up because I love starting off these webinars like this. So because I want you guys engaged and giving me your feedback on the examples that we're going to cover today, let's go ahead and test out that question box. I love asking people where they're tuning in from. So type in the question box, let's test it out. Where are you guys tuning in today from? And because honestly, I love kicking them off like this because to see people from all over come together to learn and improve marketing, it's so cool to me. So I will call out some of these responses to see where everybody's checking in from. I'm currently in Louisiana right now, in Monroe, Duck Dynasty. Okay, I'm starting to see some questions pour in. DC, Illinois, Tennessee, Texas. That's where I reside at, is Dallas, Texas, or actually Frisco. We got Pennsylvania, Florida, California, West Palm, Vancouver, another Pennsylvania, more Californians, Mexico, nice. See, this is so cool. We're all spread. Florida, welcome, guys. Ohio, I lived in Columbus, Ohio for 5 years. So go Bucks. Kansas City, more Ohio. This is awesome. New York. Oh, I really wish I could. North Carolina, Asheville, that's my place. I wish I could call out every single one of you, but I've got some really cool stuff to unpack for you guys today. So we're going to keep it moving, but please keep engaging in the chats as we keep this going. Let's go. So to kick off today with a couple of housekeeping items for everybody on this call today, please know that this is a recorded session. Today's session will be posted on our YouTube channels, Local IQ or Word Stream by Local IQ's YouTube. Everything that you see here today, the presentation, the notes, the recording will actually be sent directly to your inbox. So no need to even take notes during the session. And then, yeah, check your inbox after the session to have the full recap. So when kicking off, let's make sure everyone is on the same track with who we are and what we do. So some of you might already be working with us, and that's awesome. Hi. Some of you may be totally new, and that's wonderful. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And some of you might be familiar with our thought leadership brand, WordStream by Local IQ, or USA Today Network Media Solutions. So how do we all fit together? Local IQ is a part of USA Today Co., and it helps businesses grow with digital marketing technology and has a team specialized behind every campaign. And we have the trusted reach of media solutions with the USA Today Network. And together we deliver the complete solution for connecting businesses with customers wherever they are. Now let's dive into the Local IQ platform. So this platform, Local IQ, is how businesses like yours attract and retain the ideal customers. All-in-one digital marketing platform with vertical specific data from over 55 million campaigns, with a personalized approach from local experts that know your industry, but we keep you a step ahead with the help of AI for better lead management, faster follow-up, and conversions. And of course, one thing we are very proud of is that we are a premier partner with all of the major advertising platforms. All of these beautiful badges that you see here and these awards is really only given to businesses that drive true success for their customers, display thought leadership within the field, and lead with innovation. So we're very proud of everything that you see here. A little bit about me, today's host. My name is Alexandra Howard. I am 9 years into the digital marketing and brand management um, through my education. I actually have a master's degree, which I got in Ohio for executive management. My undergrad is in marketing. And I've worn many hats in my career. I've had my own agency, full service. I've actually worked as a digital marketing campaign specialist where I built campaigns end to end. I have actually ran a lot of paid advertisements, campaigns for everybody across the industry. Which led me here today, though, as brand manager of Local IQ. Grateful to be here with all you guys. And again, if you're just not tuning in, welcome. I am based out of Dallas, Texas, and I would love to stay connected with all of you. So please look me up on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions, please feel free to message me directly or any comments, anything about today's presentation. Would love to connect. And also connect with our brands, right? Local IQ is on all the major social media platforms, and so is WordStream by Local IQ. And you can also find USA Today Network across Facebook and LinkedIn as well. So let's talk about today's lineup. We're going to go over ad examples that we'd actually click. And yes, the examples that I'm going to show you guys are examples that I would actually click on. And then we're going to walk through what advertising looks like in the new AI search era. And then behind the ad, we can't just look like a pretty ad. What actually makes them work and drive results? We'll break that down as well. Closing thought starters, and then live Q&A. But if you have joined us before, you know that we love keeping everybody on their toes. So I'm glad I got you guys to practice out the question box because pop quiz. Type in the question box. When you see sponsored results or an ad, do you avoid the click or do you actually explore the offer? Because let's be real, I mean, people are getting really a lot more sharp with identifying if it's they immediately can associate the ad watermark or they can immediately associate that sponsored ad result. We're getting, familiar with sponsors and ads, right? So I would love to know if you just completely avoid it most of the time or do you actually explore depending on the ad? Okay, depends. I do avoid it. I get tired of seeing it. I know there's a lot of noise in the digital world. Avoid it, depending if it's good copy. Dependent if I'm interested, avoid the click. Okay, we're getting mixed sentiment. 50-50. Okay, this is good feedback. Avoid. Trust it if there's presenting good stuff. Right. Depends. Avoid. Okay, so we're getting some pretty mixed sentiment here. I'm actually really curious what your thoughts are going to be with the ad examples I have lined up, and I will be checking this question box to get your take on what you actually think about them. So let's go ahead and dive in. So here are some examples of ads that we'd actually click. First up, so this ad example is what I'd like to call the pain point prompter or the scorekeeper. So let me break this down. So what I loved about this ad was the branded assets. You see their logo, they're obviously the name, which to me screams it's linked to a Google business profile, right? So that means the authenticity is there for marketers. This screams best SEO practices. But I loved the layers of benefits and credibility that they tied here. So now starting from the top though, that description, it promoted a quiz for that personalization and that interactive experience. I loved that. And the ad matches keyword intent. So that person that's searching for a best mattress for back pain, that's their problem. They're in need of that. So this ad directly with those keywords that you see here tied directly to that pain point to solution. And obviously, and they're promoting proof. So the reviews, the ratings that they have attached here, they're promoting their credibility and real customer feedback. So looking at this ad example, now it's your turn. In the question box, I want your honest take. Type yes or no in the question box. Would you actually engage with this ad? I'm very curious. Okay. So, okay, not bad. Yes. Okay. I feel like a lot of people that actually said that they would avoid the click are saying yes. No, okay. That's understandable. Yes. Okay. We're getting some yeses. I mean, I hope after breaking it down, wow, we're getting actually a lot of yeses. Let's go. I'm glad that you guys agree because I mean, as a marketer, obviously I'm going to be critical whenever I see an advertisement. Me and my dad will sit on the couch because he's also in sales marketer, and we'll watch a commercial and we will judge it. Like it was terrible or that was pretty good. So this is kind of I love hearing this feedback. I like the pop quiz option. I do too. I really do like the personalization and the interactive engagement that they're trying to connect or promote. Okay, we actually got a lot more yeses on that than I was really anticipating. Okay, awesome. Now let's roll on to the next example. I'm curious what you guys will think of this one. Okay, this example is what I would like to call the benefit banker. So why would I click on this ad? Instead of listing features, it goes straight for return on investment, right? Save 8+ hours a week on meetings, right? The message is framed like a pitch, clear value, quantified, and it's tied to a specific pain, right? And the worth 10-minute conversation reframes a CTA in business terms. And I love that. And then what I actually loved most about this ad is the sub line that adds credibility with enterprise proof, where it says the 71% of Fortune 500. I thought that was really great. So I would love your take. Instead of the yes or no, let's change it up. In the question box, from a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst ad you've ever seen, and then 5 being I would click on it, type your rating in the question box. All right. I'm very curious to see what you guys think. Honestly, and like even the design part of it, I like the vibrant gradients. I do like the actual pictures of the product interface. Okay, we got a 5, 3, 4, 5. Okay, right now we're averaging more so on the you would engage. Okay, this is great. Okay, we got a couple ones. Hey, I want honesty hour. Honesty hour, this is where I want your full, real feedback. 3, not terrible. It just doesn't grab my attention. 4, ROI stats. I like that too. Oh, yes. Thank you for calling that out. I'm so sorry that it's on the screen. Interesting, but no. 3, good headline. Okay, so I love this feedback. And I would say about 70% of you say that this is a good ad. All right, let's keep it rolling. Well, actually, I wanted one more take on this. My final takeaway with an ad like this is when you're speaking to decision makers, lead with outcomes they care about. I like time, clarity, and efficiency beat features, like listing features every time. That is like my main takeaway from an ad like this. Now, let's take a look at a local ads example that I pulled. This local service ads example, I would call this a strong trust builder. Why? I would click it because obviously it's surfacing the reviews and ratings right off the bat in this sponsored listing. And I love the call out with over 100 years in business. That's credibility, that's authority right off the bat. The real image related to the business. We all love that. We all are getting sick of the AI generated stuff. So to see actually like a real business photo of their people in the field, I think is great. And then I love the multiple paths to action, right? They have a booking link, they have a get your phone number. If you didn't want to tap on either ones directly, they still have their phone number right there directly just displayed. So type in the question box. Would you click on this local service ad? I am curious. But also, while we're on this example and I'm getting the feedback, Google, if you guys haven't heard of, is rolling out a big update with local service ads. So they will soon migrate over to Performance Max campaigns or PMax instead of being a standalone campaign interface. So this Google update is news to the industry, but it's business as usual for us. If you're a local IQ customer, your team is already on it. No action needed from you at all. We stay ahead of the updates, driving those results for you so you can stay focused on running your business. But if you aren't currently running ads with us and you need help navigating the new updates with local service ads, PMAX, or SEO local ads, let's talk. So, feedback on this local ad. Yes, I love the reviews, love the credibility. Okay. Yes, the real image is key. This is great feedback. And yes, see the fact that they had over 3,000 reviews. It's that, like, I love the credibility and authority in this example. Love it a lot. Yes, 5 stars, open 24/7, trust building, easy contacting. Everybody favored this ad with me. Let's go. I love this. Oh, this is great. Okay. Well, I've still got plenty more stuff coming your way. I love the feedback. Thank you so much for engaging. Okay. With AI search, with AI evolving advertising, let me give you some examples of what it's looking like in this new AI search era. Okay. So ad formats for AI mode, right? So we have conversational discovery ads. These ads appear as a natural part of the AI mode response. Google uses Gemini to match up the search from the customer to the response surrounding it. So the ad feels related to the conversation that's already happening between the customer looking for that answer or that solution, that product, that service. And the highlighted answers, when someone searches for a recommendation in AI mode, like best 24-hour plumbing services near me, Google now serves a list of suggestions. So why this matters in this new AI search and what it means for your advertising. It means more visibility. So, and when I say visibility, I mean everywhere customers search, discover, and decide. But what this means for your search ads, adapting your messaging to this new conversational ad format is critical. And the keyword targeting, it's no longer enough. You're bidding on intent and visibility. See, kind of going back to that example where this customer was looking for a best mattress for back pain, right? It is that intent that you have to match up with to satisfy that user's search. And so, in context, obviously, where everybody searched and discovered and decides is expanding, right? So your ads visibility is getting harder to win. And so you have to be contextual, you have to be ready for that conversation and more dynamic and visibility across channel. Taking a deeper dive on really what this means, and then I'll stop nerding out. So credibility is right now it's signaling AI. So those reviews and ratings that we saw in some of those examples and like all of those authority, credibility things that they were adding on. So it's that branded content, that visibility across channel is what's winning AI answers. So you get recommended by AI, you show up in AI search results, you get chosen by customers. And if you keep up with industry news, which is really hard to do nowadays, you clearly see that proof signals and consistent visibility and credibility are in fact influencing and evolving the AI search landscape. Because as of last week, Yelp announced a new partnership with OpenAI to help more local businesses get recommended in Chat GPT and bringing in reviews, ratings, business information to AI search. So with this update, it's a good news if you are a local IQ customer because we're already an official advertising partner with Yelp. So you already have access to the newest discovery channels, but if you are not running ads with us, let's talk. Pop quiz to keep you on your toes. I want to know, your turn, in the question box, what's the first thing that earns your click on a search ad today? Actually, I think a lot of the comments that I saw earlier answered this. A lot of you were saying the reviews and the ratings, the real photos, those help you earn the click. Right. And then also helping the interaction with like the quizzes. But right now, I think everybody on this session is all leaning towards that credibility, the authority that you present. Relevant team terms. Okay, so satisfying that search intent for sure. I get upset whenever I search something and I'm not, and I will click on a couple sources. I am that person that will probably click on like 3 or 4 things, and it's not giving me the direct answer, right? And that's where AI, I think, is actually, that's good, right? It's saving us time. It's giving us sources and citing different information to save us time in our search experience, right? But we also have to be careful with what AI sources too, because some of that stuff may be outdated and you have to check the dates on what it's citing, also the sources. But reviews, okay, everybody's pretty much saying reviews, content, real imagery, local relevancy. Yes, convenience, that's a huge thing, right? The search is what I asked for. Amen. Awesome feedback, guys. Let's keep it moving. So now, let's go beyond creative and copy. We analyzed over 1,500 Google accounts and see what they got wrong and what they got right. The ad is only part of the strategy. So in our study, we found that the average business, this is crazy, the average business wastes over 1,100K a month in Google ads. Based on our data, the average business will spend about 3,000 on Google ads per month, which means that some of the accounts are wasting nearly half of their total search advertising budget. Plus, we actually saw a couple accounts that were wasting over $10,000 crazy a month. So you might see wasted spend if you're not keeping a close eye on your search terms or auctioning insights. That's where the search intent that's relevant to what they're looking for and how that ad and your keywords have to match up and be intentional about the intent is where I think where a lot of these accounts were missing the mark at. So to ensure you're only spending on clicks for high intent searches, you've got to keep an eye on reporting and what your cost per click is for this one keyword, and just keep a close eye on reporting. We found that accounts, 1 in 4 of those 15,000 accounts that we were looking at had 0 conversions in a month, which is about 29% of those accounts in the data set recorded 0 conversions over a 90-day period. And that means their Google Ads campaigns potentially yielded no new contacts or customers. Yikes. One of the more obvious reasons a Google Ads account may have no conversions is because conversion tracking isn't set up, whether that's by accident or by choice. But so campaigns may have driven conversions, but they will never know if it truly came from their Google Ads account, which, let's talk about your return on investment for advertising. You want to know what channels are working for you. So conversion tracking is crucial. And so to see that we pulled this stat out of to see how many were missing the mark on this actually blew my mind. But this could also point to inefficient targeting. It could be the low relevance for like those search terms we were talking about. Meaning advertising, maybe these advertisers are paying for visibility that doesn't connect back to customer growth. So we also found that accounts having at least one negative keyword saw 3 times higher conversion rates. Okay, so having at least one negative keyword can triple your account's conversion rate. The accounts with at least one negative keyword had an average conversion monthly, average monthly conversion of about 13%. And accounts with no negative keywords had conversion rates of about 4.6%. That's nearly 3 times improvement in conversion efficiency for accounts using negative keywords. So just a pointer here. Pop quiz. Want to make sure that you're still with me. Do you think biggest spenders always win in Google Ads? Yes or no? Would love to hear in the chat box. Type in the question box. Do you think the biggest spenders always win in Google Ads? Okay, of course. And I figured a lot of people are gonna, okay, I gotta know. No. Okay. Yay, I'm actually seeing a lot more no's than I anticipated because, I mean, wow. I think I only had one yes. Not necessarily. No, I think who's most aligned with the search intent. Yeah, again, it's the back end setup. Your ads, yes. We got some experts on this call. I love this. I see your question, Sam, to define negative keyword or negative keywords. I will absolutely answer that at the end of our live Q&A. Okay, majority are saying no. The biggest spenders don't always win. So you're correct. Top performers are not always the biggest spenders, and let me break it down why. While you think that more money equals better results, according to our data, it turns out that top performers are not always the biggest spenders in Google Ads game. Some of these accounts we evaluated with high budgets fell short in terms of click-through rates and quality score. Now, let's break it down a bit more on that why. So, a ton of impressions, more impressions does not necessarily lead to a ton of conversions. In fact, it's really the opposite. So, the data shows that accounts with the lowest range of impressions, as you see in this chart, if you're looking at the less than 20,000 impressions, okay, had highest conversion rates of the bunch at 4.1%, okay? But then the accounts with the highest range of impressions on the other end, with over 8,000 impressions, had the lowest average conversion rate of 2.4%. So just piggybacking off of the main point, that intent, that click-through rate, as far as them falling short on those big spenders that weren't getting like really a lot of conversions, it really does go back to the back incentive is if you're matching with intent, if that landing page experience, is it matching their search intent when they engage with your ad, when they get to your landing page, is it satisfying their search intent? It's really all about intent and actually hitting the mark on the keywords that are actually going to support that. So behind the click. Now that we pointed out some of the biggest mistakes that we see, now let's go behind the click and see what actually works. So most top performing accounts have similar structures, we found. Average roughly about 2 or 3 times more ad groups per account than low performing accounts did, and ran more campaigns overall. Let me explain. So segmented by intent, separated by goals, the locations, the services, along with significantly more ad groups to tightly align those keywords, those ads, and the landing pages that are relevant going back to that search intent and the goal of that campaign. So this proves the importance of ad structure or of account structure. As more campaigns and ad groups lead to better intent, segmentation, which improves ad relevance, your click-through rates, and in turn, your quality score and your ad rank. So top performing accounts follow the structure like this. And so you can compare this back to what your account may look like. You can look back on this deck after the recorded session. You'll have eyes on it. And here is a beautiful overall summary of what a portrait of a high performing Google Ads account. So quality score is 8 or more. And this is for the top 3% highest performing Google Ads accounts. This is what the structure looks like. Quality score is 8 or more. The click-through rate is about 8 to 12%. The conversion rate is 10% or more. And the spend, you're spending either about a monthly, either up to 1,000 to 10K. And this is scaling strategically, right? And negative keywords. You have it like 100 or more negative keywords. And honestly, I can go ahead and answer that question that came through while we're covering this. So accounts with a bunch of negative keywords. What this does is, of course, you're putting in keywords that you want. When somebody searches for that keyword, you want your ad to pop up, right? And that's what, your ad budget per click towards that one keyword that you're bidding for, that conversion, that's where your money's filtering through. Now, what negative keywords do is prevent your ads to show up in searches that could maybe even have somewhat relevant, like let's say if it's like 24-hour plumbing. If you did not put in a negative keyword that maybe for a demographic that's like outside of a area you serve, it could be servicing that and be clicked for a place that you couldn't even provide that service for, right? So implementing negative keywords for geographic, something that's a very common term that is eating away your budget. Like if you look at backward reporting and you see a keyword is taking a lot away your budget, but it's not giving you good quality leads, that's how you know to add that to your negative keyword list. I hope I didn't nerd out that too hard, but just trying to give you an example of basically it tells Google to be more specific on the keywords that you're targeting and not get pulled away or into any keywords that may take away from that. Campaigns quality score was over 4 or greater, was 0. So now closing thought starters before we roll into live Q&A. All right, my closing thought starters to take away with that we just kind of covered right there. Structure is the strategy. Takeaway, alignment of search intent to keywords to add, breaking down locations, landing page that matches the ad. Satisfy search intent is the real advantage. The click is won before the copy. Say that again. Your ad may look pretty, right? But the click is won before the copy. Intent matches, the proof is there from those reviews and ratings in the examples we saw. The relevance decides the click as much as the words do. And so, big takeaway here. The ad is only part of the system behind it, okay? Keywords buy clicks, intent buys customers. AI efficiency versus your margin. The question here worth asking is, can you trust AI to automate decisions that affect your margin? Valid, right? AI can now, in this new search experience, how Gemini is really trying to make things more efficient with AI advancements in Google Ads, right? And adapt to the new Google Ads search, conversational formats. AI can now write the ads for you. It can auto pick your offers, but easiest to convert isn't best for your margin, right? So key takeaway here, automate the work, keep a human on the money. What I mean by that, a set of expert human eyes, monitoring automations and optimizations is your margin security. And my last takeaway, visibility is the new discovery. When the answer, not just the auction. Okay. So, what I mean by this is show up everywhere the answer forms. Okay. Proof across the listings, the reviews, and content is your new ad copy. And it's what earns AI's recommendations and the customer's click. Before we roll into live Q&A, really looking forward to it because I did see a lot of questions pour in. I'm going to pop up a poll on the screen with a final closing thought starter question, okay? Is AI recommending your business right now or your customer or your competitors? Because you can find out with an AI visibility assessment on us, just as a thank you for joining us today. And if you want to see if your business is showing up where AI answers are formed, I highly recommend signing up for this. It's free. You literally nothing to lose, only insight to gain. So this will let you see where you stand right now against your competitors, where you stand now in the new search experience, the source of AIs that the sources that AI is citing to see if your brand is on it and on that channel, and if AI is actually helping your conversions. The audit is free, so nothing to gain. Like I said, if you're interested, tap yes on the poll. If not, that's okay. While everyone is answering the poll, sitting back, we can roll into Q&A. Alrighty, I will, while everybody's answering the poll, I'm going to try and go back and look because I did see a lot of questions come through, which thank you guys for. This session was so fun because I loved all of your honest takes on the ad examples that I gave. And so, no, if you have any questions after, now, drop them in the question box. We'd love to answer. Okay, so I did answer the one on negative keywords. I hope that was helpful. Okay. Let's see. Is this specific to search campaigns? If you were speaking to the overall scorecard of what a good ad account looks like, yes, it was. So quality score is relevant to any of your Google Ads campaigns. And how you do that is adding things in like more of those ad groups, more of those negative keywords, more of breaking it down by intent. So that account structure, again, would be a really good example to follow for your ideal, what it looks like on the back end. Okay, let's go through more. Let's see. How do you define win? I'm not sure what that was going back to. Due to a conflict. Yes, the recording will be available. You can stream this and recap all that we covered on this webinar on Local IQ's YouTube channel or WordStream by Local IQ's YouTube channel. Where do I go to see details of our Google account? Is there a link where to check and get started on what we have and what we need to improve? Okay, actually, WordStream actually has a free tool. It's the Google Ads Grader. If you head to wordstream.com, that is a great resource to tell you what's working, what's not, what you can improve, and it gives you an overall score of your Google Ads account. 10 out of 10 recommend using that tool. It's free. But to go and see details on your Google Ads account, that would be, you gotta look at analytics. Analytics reporting will always be your guiding light, right? So to see, you got to compare to the scorecard that you'll get in this presentation, that conversion rate average. Go into your analytics and reporting and see what your average conversion rate is for your Google Ads campaigns. Go and look to see how much you're paying, like what is your most expensive keyword that you're paying for, and is it actually really relevant or very specific to the type of customers that you're trying to, like the quality of customers that you're trying to get? Is it really expensive as far as converting quality customers compared to another keyword that you're not spending as much money on, right? Like I remember, like I saw an account that had like a near me. They were bidding on near me. Do you understand the how broad that is and how much that's probably draining a lot of clicks for them, but it's not really, they're getting customers or clicks eating their Google Ads budget up, right? For something that's not very niche to what they're trying to provide. Um, so just overall, would look back on analytics and reporting. Good looks. Thank you. There's so many questions. I wish I can answer every one of yours. Let's see. There are so, I'm sorry, I'm trying to scan through all of them. Okay. Is the 8+ quality score your own internal scoring, or is this rating provided by Google? No, this is from Google directly. All of the study that we covered and insights, we actually analyzed 15,000 real Google Ads accounts directly, and to see what the average quality score was for those top 3% accounts, ad structures. So no, this was directly averaging from ratings provided in Google. Will this recording be emailed? Yes, it will be. Do you have a step-by-step to help use as we navigate our Google Ads account? I would actually head to WordStream YouTube channel. There's a ton of learning content that walks you through how to step by step. I actually think there's one that touches on Google Ads and also Facebook ads. So head to WordStream YouTube channel to get some answers. Any recommendations for a nonprofit with a Google ad grant? That's a good question. Depends on your goal. Is your goal for brand awareness, to increase brand awareness for your nonprofit? Is it to get perspective? I'm not sure what the nonprofit organization cause is, but it just really depends on goal. I would say once you decide your goal, you'll be able to then better decide how that Google Ads grant you can best invest that in, depending on goal. And also depends on the type of ad. It could be PMAX that you're running display, and search. It could be just search ads. So it just depends on what that goal would be. Okay. We are an orchestra. Brand awareness is very important. Okay, love this. I would say PMAX would be a really good campaign type to look into. Why? Because you're going to be able to spread your reach across Google's discovery. You've got search, you have display. Display is key for brand awareness. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. So any form of content, whether that be video campaigns, any form that is going heavily on display, 10 out of 10 recommend for your brand awareness campaigns, especially with a lot of, content's never been more, we never had more content around us, right? It's like really noisy. So looking across social, looking across Google, everywhere you look. Display is what, if you have a good creative, that is what people are going to remember a brand by, is if you give something a branded content that is memorable, that is storytelling, that is truly what's going to resonate with people, instead of it being one of those AI generated creatives. Like branded content brand is differentiating. So anything for display and branded content, I think, is your key for brand awareness campaigns. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up there, folks. thank you so much all for joining us. I really appreciate it. You'll get all of what we covered today back into your inbox, and we'll see you next time.